Hello, 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 everybody. I hope all is well. My name is Serena Wills. I am the owner and founder of Wryte Wellness, and welcome to Sleep Solutions, strategies and techniques for quality rest. This is a part of a sleep hygiene series that I have where I teach a couple of courses or classes or you call them workshops too, on sleep hygiene and sleep solutions. So, for those who don't know who I am, my name is again Serena Wills. I am a national board certified health and wellness coach. I'm also an associate certified coach through the International Coaching Federation. And I own my own practice, Wryte Wellness, and Wryte is spelled Wryte. And that is my health and wellness coaching practice, where I also have workplace wellness programming through what is called the Calm Connection Workplace Wellness Program. I want to give a special shout out. These classes will be available to all those who view these classes online, but it was initially offered to DC Arts Humanities Education Collaborative, which is led by Allery Clark, who is the executive director. And I just want to thank her for putting the word out there through her marketing team. And these classes were initially for those who are part of the collaborative, teaching artists, administrators of organizations, educators of public schools, private schools, you name it. But these classes are for anyone who wants to come and learn about sleep hygiene. A little bit more about me. I am originally from Queens, New York. Shout out to any New Yorkers out there. I lived in the wonderful DMV area, DC, Maryland, Virginia area for quite some time, many, many years. Lived in Dallas, Texas for a little while, in the middle of my life journey. And I now live down south. I'll just say that. I live down south now. We made another move. I have a son who is a high schooler. Can't believe I'm saying that. He's a high schooler, and I have five godchildren, and I am my sister's guardian who has autism. This picture you see on the screen, I'm on a mic. I'm also an artist. I'm a poet, a spoken word artist, and a self-published author. And I teach classes on the self-publishing process and on poetry and performance poetry and all that as well. So I have a couple of hats. So a disclaimer, this class is for educational purposes only. It can cause a little of emotional distress and feelings to arise. I don't want to say a little. Let me take that back because there will be people who will watch this and say, "Wow, that I really am going through that," and it could be attributed to sleep deprivation, for example, or insomnia, or anything else that's going on with your sleep hygiene. Again, this is not medical advice whatsoever. I am not a clinician, a clinical nutritionist. So please do not discontinue any medication protocols, etc., that's discussed by your doctor or practitioner. And this class does not require any equipment. It's for all levels. We want you to learn. I want you to learn and take notes, take some good notes, and this will be available. It's on YouTube, and I will probably post it on my website as well, divinewryte.com, and Wryte is spelled Wryte, for those who want to just check it out. But I always love for people to come to a class so I can have folks to talk to and interact with. When I do teach classes, it is very interactive. And because I don't believe in the power of just droning on and lecturing for an hour and then leaving 5 minutes at the end to take questions. So feel free to come on to the next class that is being offered. So I always start my classes with checking the pulse. Check the pulse. How are you really doing and feeling today? That's very important. It's a way to just check in with yourself and to check in with each other. So again, when I am teaching classes, I even do this with my grad school classes. I left that out. I am an assistant professor at Notre Dame of Maryland University through the School of Integrative Health in their health and wellness coaching department. And when I work with my students, we check the pulse. We see how we're all doing. It's really imperative to just pause and stop for a moment in your day and just saying, okay, I keep telling people I'm good. I think we're all naturally prone to when someone says, hey, how you doing today? And you just say, oh, I'm good, I'm fine. How are you? When sometimes you're not fine. Sometimes you're not good. Or, you might be great. Things may be stupendous going on in your life, right? But, just saying, okay, I need a break. I need a moment. I need time to reflect or rest or take a walk or eat a little something or drink more water. Really just checking in with yourself and just seeing how you are doing. So with my classes, I teach a variety of classes. Like I said, I teach a sleep hygiene class, but I also teach classes on mindful eating, mindfulness, workplace resiliency, holistic strategies in the workplace as well. The mindful eating is an entire mindful eating series. We're talking like seven courses. You can tell I'm in the midst of grading my students in grad school, so workshops and classes. I also have classes on envisioning your life for yourself, and I also have one that talks about stress reduction techniques for those who are caregivers to their loved ones. So I start off all my classes with pictures of, whether what is or what is not, or how we're feeling, what we're not feeling. So when we wake up in the morning, and I'm not just saying first thing in the morning, because for me, it takes a little time to kind of get going in the mornings. But eventually, do you feel like the picture on the left, where you could just take over the world? I am energized. I've had enough sleep. I feel great. Or do you feel like the picture on the right where it's like, please don't wake me. I'm putting the covers over my eyes because I forgot my sleep mask. I don't have blackout curtains, but I need more rest. So, how are you feeling when you wake up or as you're going throughout your day? So, questions to ask yourself, do I have good sleep health and good sleep health hygiene? Well, sleep hygiene. Just these are questions, and this is also a class that is non-judgmental and coming from a compassionate place. So none of these questions are you doing this? Are you doing that right? Are you having this amount of hours of sleep? These are questions to ask yourself from a compassionate place. How many hours do you sleep each night or day if you work overnight? Are you getting uninterrupted sleep? So are you able to just go to sleep at, let's say, 10 p.m. and you wake up at 6 a.m. without a single interruption? Interruptions could be, I have to go to the bathroom, or it could also be interrupted by stress. You wake up in the middle of the night and something is on your mind and you just can't get back to sleep. So uninterrupted sleep. Are you comfortable where you're sleeping or when you're sleeping? Does the mattress feel good? Does it feel good? Is the comforter good? Is the blanket a good, weight? Are your pillows feeling comfortable? And also comfort meaning your physical environment. Um, I once lived in an apartment building and I had a neighbor who just loved to start playing his music at 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, if you have to get up and go to work and that's your way, like music helps you get going, that's fine. But everybody else doesn't have to hear it. Okay, so that was my comfortability was kind of broken. Okay. Is your room dark enough? Which is a really important question. Um, if your room is not dark enough, we are prone to waking up with light. And let's say The sun rises a bit sooner than it usually does, or it could be that security light is beaming through your apartment, okay, through your bedroom, or a loved one, you share a bed with, and they're getting up to go to work, and they turn the lights on. So, asking yourself, okay, what are some ways I can make my room darker? Do you know if you snore? Do you have gaps, in your breathing, but do you snore? Does a loved one interrupt your sleep? A baby, a spouse, or partner who many snore? Pets, surrounding noises. I once lived in an apartment building. This probably be like maybe that could be a reality show. I once lived in an apartment building, dot, dot, dot. I once lived in an apartment building. We were physically attached to a fire department. Yes, we were. And at first it was great. They only went out a few times a week. But then a hospital was built a block and a half away from where we live. And the more and more they built up the area more and more. So more apartments, more condos, more this, more that, where you're now hearing the sirens going off all the time. It was a lot. How often do you wake each night? Do you eat right before you go to sleep? So some say, hey, yeah, I had dinner and I went to bed like an hour later, or I went right to bed 30 minutes later. And then they realize, yeah, throughout the night, I my sleep is interrupted, or when I wake up in the morning, I feel sluggish and a bit lethargic. And it could be geared towards what time you ate the night before, how many hours before, you went to sleep. So did you eat at 7 p.m. and then you went to bed at 10? Gave your body some time to digest your food. Or did you eat really heavy, even if it was at 7 or 8 o'clock at night? And then your body is having problems digesting. So when you wake up in the morning, you just almost feel like that food is still on you, like just in your system. It has not fully processed. And sometimes it takes you throughout your day. You just don't feel awake. And are you de-stressing before bedtime? Are we doing things that really help to help to slow down the central nervous system, to quiet it down? What are we watching before we go to sleep? Are we saying, okay, we're going to turn the TV off by a certain time, or the phones, scrolling? Maybe I'll read a book. Maybe I'll pray if you're a prayerful person. Maybe I'll meditate. Maybe I'll just sit in quiet. Maybe I'll have a calm conversation with somebody. So, what are some things you're doing before you go to sleep? The benefits of good sleep. She looks like she is really into a good night's rest. Healing and repair of cells, tissues, and blood vessels. And this all is happening while you're sleeping. Your body is healing. Your cells get repaired. The tissues within you, your organs, your blood vessels, the neurons. I can go on and on. When you have a good night's rest throughout the night, your body is able to recover. Strengthened immune systems. So your immune system can really fight off things better. You can fight off those colds or something coming about, or just you feeling energized when you wake up in the morning. You have more energy when you wake up. You get a good night's rest and you wake up and you're ready to go because you have good energy, a better mood. There's that expression, oh, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. That's a real thing. Some people sometimes do wake up on the wrong side of the bed, but it might be because they didn't get a good night's rest. Cognitive function improvement. People are able to recall things, retain things. Your memories as well are more, you're like, okay, I can remember a week ago, 2 weeks ago, some years ago. And even just cognitively getting through your day. Increase creativity and productivity. The spaces between brain cells widen, allowing fluid to flush away toxins. So, research shows that the benefit of a good night's rest, your brain cells can say, "Oh, we can get a little wider, a little bigger." Um, Not the brain cells, but the spaces between each cell. Sorry, and it went from a stream of sorts to a river. Let's just say that metaphorically. So now we're allowing that important fluid to flush away toxins. And when those get flushed away, our brain is able to restore at a better rate. Muscle relaxation, we all need that. Essential hormones are released when we're sleeping. Essential is the key word. Memories are processed and stored. We're going to talk about essential hormones a little bit later. Memories and process are processed and stored and should be underlined and bolded. So again, remember I was talking about the cognitive function improvement in memories. So now we're processing those memories while we're sleeping, but they're also stored. It's like having that really pristine Dropbox of sorts or cloud where you have enough cloud space to keep storing things. That's what's happening with your brain while you're getting good night's rest. Enhancement of memory capacity even when waking. So we got memories, we have the enhancements happening, and cognitive function improvement. You see all this is happening with your brain and central nervous system. An overall healing of your body from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet and everything in between. And this is based on research from the American Heart Association, the Mayo Clinic, and the National Institute of Health. So what's the science behind sleep? What is the science? Okay, and this could be a whole other class for another day. Um, there's two main sleep mechanisms. I'm sure many of you heard of the circadian rhythm, and then the other one is called the sleep-wake homeostasis. What are those and how do they affect sleep? Okay, so a third of your day is spent sleeping. Maintaining good sleep habits are imperative. So, for example, they'll ask you how many hours of sleep are you getting per night. They want people to average 6 to 8 hours of sleep. And then now for those who are like me that have teenagers, we might say, oh gosh, they're always sleeping. Oh my gosh, they're always this, always that. Teenagers are actually supposed to average about 10 hours of sleep per day. Yeah, I know. Because they're growing, they're blossoming, all the things are happening. Puberty is taking place. So sleeping is as important as eating. So when people say, "Oh, I skipped a meal," or "Yeah, I didn't sleep. I only slept like 4 or 5 hours last night." Um, it's as important as eating. We need to sleep. And I know that there are those who might be watching this who suffer from insomnia. They suffer from sleep disorders. And the goal is that they're trying to get back to is getting adequate amount of sleep because they know how important it is. So we have the REM, we have rapid eye movement and non-REM process, which is 4 stages to sleep. There's several structures of the brain are involved in sleeping. And then melatonin, remember I talked about the essential hormones? Well, this is known as an essential hormone, melatonin. We see it over the counter. We see it, now they're selling it, right? How are they putting this in a bottle? Okay, so it's helping. For some people they don't have enough melatonin in their bodies. So some people might take, and again, I'm not a medical practitioner or anything like that. They may take melatonin to help enhance what they don't have, but a lot of people don't know what they have, and they're just taking melatonin. They may not even need any more melatonin, but it's a whole other story for another day. And I'm talking about melatonin over the counter. So scientists are still researching sleep. It is one of the greatest mysteries as to why we need it, how much sleep, and all the causes due to lack of sleep. It's constantly being researched. And again, I got this research from the National Institute of Health and the Sleep Foundation. There's an entire foundation based on sleep, an entire foundation based on sleep, okay? So there were a couple of things I talked about in the last slide. Circadian rhythms and sleep wake homeostasis. So let's talk about that. I didn't want to just skip over, and you're like, okay, she didn't talk about it. All right, so let's talk about what these two are. So what are circadian rhythms? And I love that there was a picture, okay, because I'm a visual person, and I'm like, okay, what does it look like? So it shows the pattern and it shows the yellow. You see the melatonin and how it goes down and up, down and up. So it goes in waves, right? And then you have your body temperature as well. It kind of goes up and down. So that hence we have women in menopause. Let me raise my hand on that one. Our temperatures are off a lot. And a lot of women that are experiencing menopause um wake have a lot of waking moments throughout the night because our hormones are in flux and our body temperature is in flux. It's not a good deal. Okay. So circadian rhythms direct a wide variety of functions from daily fluctuations in wakefulness to body temperature, metabolism, and the release of hormones. They control your timing of sleep and cause you to be sleepy at night and your tendency to wake in the morning without an alarm. So get that. Your circadian rhythms, okay, help control your timing of sleep and cause you to be sleepy at night and your tendency to wake in the morning without an alarm. Your body's biological clock, which is based on roughly a 24-hour day, controls most circadian rhythms. And this is by the National Institute of Health and the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke. So then let's skip on over here to sleep cycles throughout the night. Okay. So we have the times, and then we also have the sleep stage. So you see there's N1 is lightest sleep is yellow. N2 light sleep is the green, and then the deep sleep is N3. So you see like the light blue. And then the dark blue is the REM, okay? The rapid eye movement. You see that kind of just stays. It stays about the same. So sleep wake homeostasis. It keeps track of your need for sleep. The homeostatic sleep drive reminds the body to sleep after a certain time and regulates sleep intensity. Excuse me. This sleep drive gets stronger every hour you are awake and causes you to sleep longer and more deeply after a period of sleep deprivation. So this is based on the National Institute of Health and again the National Institute of Neurological Disorders and Stroke. So these are both, you see how these are both very impactful towards our sleeping. It talks about what helps us to sleep, what will help us to stay sleep longer. And these are also the areas where when you go for a sleep study, I've had a sleep study done before, as recent as a few months ago. So they are looking for this, the people on the other side who are monitoring your sleep. They're looking at your circadian rhythm. They're looking at the sleep cycles. They're looking at the rapid eye movements versus the non-rapid eye movement. They're looking at all of this to see where if you are sleep deprived or trying to find the basis of Okay, well, she says that she's not getting a good night's rest. So let's see what the cause is or where the breaking points are, or even your temperature. They're monitoring your temperature while you're sleeping. It's really fascinating if you haven't had a sleep study done before. So, what exactly is REM and non-REM sleep? Okay, because we saw the dark blue, and the dark blue kind of stayed stable. But what is the difference? Like, what is it? So we have the light sleep, which is the yellow and the light green. So that's light sleep. All right. Then we get into that deep sleep, right? And then REM, the rapid eye movement, that's vivid dreaming. Vivid dreaming. So there's three non-rapid eye movement stages and one rapid eye movement stage. And that all makes up one sleep cycle. One. A person will typically go through 4 to 6 sleep cycles per night, although the duration of each stage may vary. So I just want to go back to this slide really quick. You see how you see from 10 to 11, you have the yellow, light green, light blue, and the dark blue. It's all one sleep cycle, all of it. But then you see between 11 to 12, they forgot to put AM. Okay. So the light green, the bar is about the same, but the yellow goes away. The light sleep goes away. The deep sleep is a little bit thinner, but then the REM, the bar is wider. Okay, so when we're looking at this bar chart again, let's now look at it from widths. Okay, and that this yellow is gone. It's supposed to just stick around and then go away. But we keep repeating the cycle over and over and over until we wake. I just wanted to go back to this so you can say, oh, okay. So it's not like the light green is a whole cycle by itself. You need all of these to complete one cycle. All of those cycles are comprised of the 4 stages. Stage one is the lightest sleep, just drifting off to sleep. Stage two, we're getting there. The body is way more relaxed. Brain activity shifts. Eye movement stops. We spend half of our time sleeping in this stage. Stage three is the best stage of them all. We are in a deep sleep. It is hard to wake us in this stage. This stage is critical to our restoration and healing of our bodies. Now, I will tell you for those who have teenagers, or you once had teenagers, now they're grown, and it's like, oh, that's why it was so hard to wake them. They're getting a lot of hours of sleep, and a lot of them are in the stage three. It is so hard. My son, it is so hard to wake him up at times. It really is. But the body is restoring itself and is healing. And then stage four is REM, is the stage known for dreaming, memory consolidation, brain development, and emotional processing. So we like REM. We like deep sleep. Okay. REM sleep is fascinating. The body is acting like you are awake, except you are not. Everyone cycles through each of these stages a few times per night or day if you work overnight. Now, let's go back to the body is acting like you are awake, except you are not. One of the questions that I was asked in my sleep study was, do you enact what you dream? And I had to ask them, what do you mean by it? They said, well, you don't do that. But they said some people get up while they're sleeping and they're either sleepwalking or they're enacting what they're dreaming about. And you hear about people where they're like, oh, I was in my kitchen and then I didn't know I was in my kitchen. Or so they look for that as well in sleep studies to see, are you enacting, like really enacting what you're dreaming about, or are you still sleeping? Like, are you laying down sleeping? So that if for those who ever do take a sleep study and that question comes up like, oh yeah, there are people and that's part of their sleep disorder. They're trying to figure out how to remain in one place so they can sleep all night. What happens when your sleep is broken? You look frazzled like this person right here. She just looks beside herself. We have REM and non-REM sleep deprivation disrupts the brain's ability to generate new cells. So when you're sleep deprived, um, the brain's ability to generate new cells lowers. Remember we talked about that space between each brain cell and how it widens to allow fluid to flush out the toxins? Well, that now is minimized. So the toxins cannot be fully flushed out the way they should. We have memory problems. We have cognitive dysfunction. We suffer from fatigue throughout the day. We're trying to stay awake. We're trying our best to function, and we can't. Sleepiness during the day. Problems concentrating. We might be working on a project, trying to read a briefing, a report, even driving. You could be driving and just have the worst concentration because you're sleep deprived. Irritability. People have been known to have mood swings when they don't have the right sleep. Over time, broken sleep, sleep deprivation is linked to health conditions such as obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and prolonged illnesses. And again, this is referred by the Sleep Foundation and National Institute of Health. So, creating sleep strategies and solutions. Can you imagine having a hammock in your apartment or in your house? That just looks amazing. I have a neighbor that lives upstairs and they have a hammock outside. And I'm like, yeah, that's my goal is to get a hammock. But let's now talk about creating sleep strategies and solutions. So evaluating stress factors, and then we're going to look at strategizing solutions. So we have two areas, and this is a lot. Feel free to screenshot it because you got to kind of go back through and think about this for a little bit longer. So evaluating stress factors is a big one. So we have stressful work environments. I'm just going to list it out. Toxic situations. We have work relationships, period. It could be familial issues, like issues with your family, challenging relationships, arguing, yelling, feeling sad, depressed, etc. Caregiving for a loved one. I was once my mother's caregiver. She had stage 4 ovarian cancer. I'm actually an advocate for ovarian cancer awareness and research because of her. And I took care of her for 6 months before she passed away. And between talking to doctors, nurses, nursing homes, hospitals, it was a lot. It was a lot. I tell people caregiving for a loved one, an elder in my case, was one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in my life, but one of the most challenging things I've also done in my life. Parenting, co-parenting, and co-parenting, and it's not quite right. Co-parenting, is it even co-parenting? Single parenting, okay, it's just parenting, period. Divorce and separation. This causes a great deal of stress. Memories of past trauma. Some people say when I go to sleep and I close my eyes, I go back to a place I don't want to go to, and they feel safer being awake. Current trauma. You could be in an environment that is not safe for you. And, I'm praying that if you are watching this replay, and you're currently undergoing trauma, to please get help. You don't have to do this alone. Challenging home environment. Financial hardship and family matters. Financial hardship. It could be 1 minute you're in the grocery store and you were able to get groceries for a certain amount of money. Now all of a sudden you go home and you got like half the stuff you used to get for the same amount of money. And it's like, okay, but I'm not making more money, so how do I make things happen? Family matters can also really contribute to stress factors. Health problems. I didn't share this in my bio. I should have shared it in my introduction. I am a Lyme disease survivor. I have chronic Lyme, and I've had Lyme now. This fall will be 14 years. We're in 2026. Not sure when you'll see this workshop. But yeah, in the very beginning, it was very brutal. And there's times now where, I'm a survivor and a warrior, but there are times where it still causes some issues. So it could be stressful. It starts to weigh on relationships, work environments, and you're still trying to live life and do the best you can. Commuting, traffic jams daily. I said I used to live in the DC area. I lived in Northern Virginia and I used to work in Washington, D.C. on a regular day with zero traffic. Let's say early in the wee hours of the morning on a Saturday, I can get into DC in a matter of minutes, Monday through Friday, getting to work. And I remember I only lived 10 miles away from my job. It would take me about 45 minutes to get to work. And don't let a crash happen or accident. Forget it. Yeah, it was a lot. So strategizing solutions. All right, so let's go over here to strategizing. We talked about the stress factors, so now let's talk about strategizing. Look at what you can try to change and what needs to be communicated with others. We can't change other people, how they're going to react, or even if we're in relationships, we can't control the other person. We want them to understand what we're going through. Sometimes they don't. But look at what you can try to change for yourself within and what needs to be communicated with others. Find your people, your village, your folks, okay? And it doesn't have to be a lot of people, one or two people, and communicate with them. Find easy to reach self-care regimens to help you with stressful moments. I really want to encourage those who are watching this replay to please come to class on Thursday, August 13th, 2026, 1 p.m. EST. And this is for those who are on through the collaborative because they have a Zoom link. We are going to talk about some self-care regimens, easy to reach. But find them, whether for you is prayer, meditation, writing, taking walks, working out, taking a bike ride, getting in the hammock, if you have a hammock, taking a nap, taking a walk along the river. If you can't walk, roll, talking to a loved one, laughing. You want to find those easy to reach. Deep breathing. I always share this story where I once worked in a very stressful organization, and I found a place within this very large building to go and do Tai Chi. Um, I was like, oh, the patrons' restrooms looks better than our personal restrooms over here. I would literally do 5 minutes of Tai Chi. I would walk over there and do Tai Chi and Qigong. 5, 10 minutes, come back totally refreshed. Nobody would be in that bathroom during the day. It was very comfortable too, very cozy. But find your thing, okay, and do it. Review, schedule, and see if you can get help with certain areas. Alleviate the weight on you. So review your schedule. Be like, I can't do all this. I just can't do this in a day. I can't do this in a week. I need help. Asking for help is not easy for everybody. Okay, there's the confidence, there is the fear of judgment, and people don't want to be rejected. It's oh, I can't help you. All right, we just no. But see what you need help with and reach out. Even if you have to do a role play or practice what to say and how to say. just start to ask for help. Make an appointment to talk to a counselor or a therapist. You don't have to do this walk by yourself. There is help out there. You could join a support group also. Um, Getting support, especially mental health support, is key. It's imperative. We are really living in some crazed times. You want to make sure that you're getting the support you need. And, don't say, well, I can do this by myself. I got this under control. I'll figure it out. Get help, whether it's one-on-one counseling. I'm a health and wellness coach. I see people individually, but I also do group coaching for up to 5 people, for example. Some people love groups. Some people just do one-on-one. Whatever it is, if you need someone to talk to, find someone that is a mental health professional that can help you. Take time off. Take it off. Okay. For those who have W-2 jobs, you have paid time off. You have personal leave, you have sick leave. Use it. Use it. I remember my grandmother used to tell me, um, Serena, the work will be there in the morning or it will be there next week. Okay. Take your time. If you're a 1099, because we have a lot of 1099s out there, um, you have to say, okay, if I take time off, I'm not going to get paid for it, but I need time. Okay, so let me factor in some time off before you are forced to take time off, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, we don't need your health to sit you down. Okay, so let's take time off. Keep up with your doctor's appointments, semi-annual, annual, quarterly, you see them monthly. Keep up with them. Do not miss your appointments. If your job is way too stressful, then maybe it's time. And some folks may say, well, time for what? And there's going to be folks in here be like, okay, I heard that loud and clear. Your job is super stressful. You don't see a way out. You cry before going to work. You don't want to log in. You are frustrated when you wake up because of the job. You're frustrated when you go to sleep because of the job. It might be time to say, let me reevaluate some things. And it's time to make a move. And again, that's where you could talk to somebody, talk to your team, your crew, a good friend. If you have a therapist or a counselor support group, talk to them. Um, but really, even list out the pros of the job and the cons and start to weigh it out. And talk to someone about positive coping techniques to assist you on hard days. The key word is positive. Positive. There's lots of coping techniques out there, but some of them are not positive. They're not healthy. So we want to make sure that whatever you choose to do, it is going to definitely benefit you in a positive way. All right, so evaluate what you sleep on and how. Now, for me, this whole setup looks fantastic. For you, it might be a loft. For someone else, it might be another type of, when I say a loft, some people live, excuse me, in a loft. Per se, I love to watch tiny homes, living big in a tiny home, and a lot of people live in lofts. But see what you're sleeping on and the how, and is it comfortable? If you're wondering if what you sleep on affects your sleep, what affects your sleep, the answer is yes. So if you're wondering if what you sleep on, I'm sorry, affects your sleep, the answer is yes. Yes, sleeping on a good mattress decreases pain. Okay, assists with spinal alignment. So even sleeping on the wrong thing can really, the wrong thing can increase pain. It can increase things going on in your body, or it can decrease pain for those who are in pain. It can also help you get to sleep faster and stay asleep. Um, it also helps with allergies. Some mattress, some mattresses are hypoallergenic. Pillows are hypoallergenic. Breathable mattresses to keep you cool. Now they got the cooling mattress. Now they got this kind of mattress. They got the sleep mattresses. I'm not sponsored by any of these. If someone knows them and tell them come over here and give me a sponsorship, right? So you never know. Like, do you sleep hot, as they say? Do you need something that's going to help cool you off while you're sleeping? Now they have, I saw it through this YouTube content creator, and shout out to Operation Nikki. She's on here. She watches Operation Nikki, and I was like, I need that in my life. Is basically, it looks like it's almost shooting air underneath the sheets, and it's keeping her mattress cool, and it's quiet. It's almost like a fan, but it's like a fan blowing underneath your sheets. Fascinating. What position do you sleep in? This can affect sleep as well. I'm a side sleeper. If I roll over onto my back, I'm going to wake up instantly. I cannot sleep on my back. It is not comfortable for me. Some people are back sleepers. Some people are more comfortable on their stomach sleeping. So look at the position you're sleeping in. And if you're realizing if this is affecting your sleep in a positive way or negative. I talked about pillows. Pillows are key. You can have the best mattress and horrible pillows. Okay, so let's get some good pillows, even if you just get one good pillow at a time. Okay, say, okay, I want to get four new pillows. I can only afford one right now. Get that one. And then work up to two and so on and so forth. Are your sheets comfortable? Are they soft? Are they a bit rough? They have so many different kinds of sheets now, the thread counts and all of that. How and also how long do you keep your sheets? We're not supposed to keep sheets for like 20 years. Okay, that we have to start saying, okay, I've had these sheets for a while. It's time to cycle them out and get something else. Look at how long you've had your mattress. And look at the different mattress lifespans when you're out there buying a mattress. And look at reviews. Reviews are powerful. Okay, read them. Okay, the ones that really talk about, oh, I got this mattress. And don't read the review that they just bought their mattress last week and it's super comfortable. Some people do a review and they come back and they say, oh, I'm back 6 months later. Those are the reviews you want to look at because those are the ones who are like, yeah, my mattress is still doing great and my pillows and everything else. You want to look at, now this is the one thing I learned about mattresses because you have the inner spring mattresses. They last about 5 years. Remember we used to buy a good mattress with springs, right? They're starting to really, not starting, they've been phasing those out. All foam mattresses, well, I want to say most foam mattresses can last 8 to 10 years depending on the brand and type. The key word is depending. Okay, so we have some great mattresses out there, but how are they? Look at the reviews again. Look at the company, look at their reviews as a whole company. And then we have latex foam mattresses. They can last 20 plus years and not lose support. So there's different levels of mattresses that you could look at. Again, if you're like me, you need hypoallergenic and all that, you want to make sure you look at that as well. References here are articles from Healthline. Does a good mattress lead to better sleep? And then also, I got this from the Sleep Foundation as well. So my classes are research based. I look through reputable articles, whether it's through NIH, Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic. If it is an article on Healthline or Medline, I look up the who, the doctor, or who wrote the article, and then I create workshops. Yeah, so this is not just something out of my head. So when you see like I'm referencing things, I'm referencing, the material I'm teaching on. That is that is the what behind it. So make your room sleeping space cozy. Low lighting right before bedtime. Yeah. So I love to lower the lights within my room. And it helps. It helps your central nervous system and your brain is like, okay, starting is time to start to dwindle down, and about to get to rest, get to sleep soon. Comfortable pillows and sheets, a comforter or blanket that is good for you. Some people don't want comforters or blankets. They say they just like sheets, one sheet on top of them. Okay. Some people don't want a sheet on top of them. That's fine. Whatever floats your boat. Okay. But you want the low lighting. You want to make sure you're comfortable. A mattress should feel good. No lumps and no pain when you wake. If you can't afford a new mattress, then try to buy a mattress topper or a mattress pad. They have some really, really great ones, super comfortable. I had a mattress for a long while, and I just, I'll be flat out. I could not afford a new mattress at the time, and I was gifted a mattress pad. This was a dynamic mattress pad, and it really was a game changer until I was able to get a new mattress. Blackout curtains. My goodness, they are game changers. Okay. I'm the kind of person where as soon as the sun starts beaming through the window, my body starts waking up. And I'm like, no, it's too early. I can still sleep for another hour, hour and a half. I once lived in an apartment where they put these new security lights in, and that security light was beaming through my bedroom. So got some blackout curtains, and it really helped save the day, will save the night for me. The right room temperature. If your room is too cold, if it's too hot, it's going to really throw off your sleep pattern. No TV, tablets. This is hard one, but your brain will thank you. Quite a few people go to sleep with something on. They are watching a show, they're watching something on their phone or their tablet. When I say something, I'm not talking about anything that's meditative or soothing. They're watching something that's like a show and it's got a lot of action and all of that. And then you're going to sleep. Sometimes that will show up in your rest, it will show up in your dreams. We can't recall all of our dreams. So we might wake up and we feel very sluggish or tired. And we're like, well, we don't know why. Some of your dreams you might have been reenacting in your mind while you were sleeping. And then your central nervous system is on overdrive. So even though you're asleep and your eyes are closed, your brain is still taking in what it's hearing. So if the brain is still taking it in, the brain can't rest. So the brain can't restore itself and heal itself because it's just constantly going. Sleep in a dark room. Too much light interferes with melatonin production. See, melatonin, when it's bright outside, it's like, ooh, okay. But when it's too much light, it doesn't know what to do. Melatonin's like, well, I guess it's not time to go to sleep yet. So yeah, so some of us need that help. We need to, again, start the routine. Or if you don't have a routine, you're now taking this class, you can say, I'm going to start a routine today. I'm going to lower the lights. I'm going to eat a little earlier. I'm going to not watch this show I love watching at night. Maybe I'll watch it early in the evening or in the afternoon on replay or on the weekends. Yeah. Soothing sounds, music, white noise, or no sound at all. A diffuser. A lot of people use diffusers with essential oils. You want to also be careful of what essential oils. Now, of course, no, this is not medical advice whatsoever. Okay. But there are certain essential oils that help. with sleep or just for you to help relax yourself, versus there are some that are supposed to help keep you awake. So you don't want essential oil diffusing that's helping, that's supposed, that this main purpose is to help you stay awake. A good air filtration system, because while we're sleeping, we're breathing in. We're breathing in stuff every day. But you want a good air filtration system while you are sleeping. Okay, so it's keeping the air quality cleaner. If you have ceiling fans, make sure your ceiling fans are cleaned. They have like they look like brooms almost, and you can put a little cleaner on them and make sure they're cleaned off, because if you have dust on your ceiling fan, which starts to really pile up over time, and you turn that ceiling fan on, it's just being filtered throughout your whole room. So you want to make sure if you have ceiling fans, those are clean. If you have the air conditioners that are still in the windows, you want to make sure those are properly cleaned. I had a coaching client once, and she discovered that she had black mold inside her air conditioner. Yeah, we want to make sure that's clean. We want to make sure our vents are clean if we have an HVAC. So when we're breathing, period, throughout the day, we are breathing in fresh air, but when we're sleeping, we're breathing in good quality air. Excuse me. If your room is very dry, then a humidifier, or you can't afford a humidifier. Back in the day, my grandmother used to steam a pot of water and put it next to the bed. And that's when I would have colds and put some vapor rub on my chest. And there you have it. Make sure your room is clean. I talked about the dusting. You want to vacuum, you want to sweep. We want to keep allergens down to a minimum. You want to also be careful of what you're cleaning your room with. You want to make sure that it is products that are good for us, because not everything that's on the shelves that we're cleaning with are not good for us. Have a bedtime routine. We talked about this a little bit. Prayer, is powerful. Meditation, exercise, eating mindfully. I have, like I said, the whole mindful eating series. Mindful movements, qigong, yoga, tai chi, bedtime yoga. There is bedtime yoga. I love it. Journal. I'm an author. Of course, I love writing. Listen to soothing music. Self massage. I love taking these two fingers and I put them here and I give myself a massage. I even go a whole step beyond and put some essential oil on there, and powerful. Hot or warm shower, or bath, a warm foot bath, a good massaging foot bath too. Oh, that's a game changer. Being careful of conversations you have right before bed. Make sure the people you talk to, even if you're reading a text message, we can't prevent bad news from coming across our phones as much as we want to. What we can do is say, do not disturb after a certain time. You can read the text the next day. If it's a certain person that's calling you and you're like, I cannot do it right now. Or some people are in relationships where it's hard. You might argue right before you go to bed and you realize when you wake up in the morning, you are exhausted. So be careful. Don't go to bed angry. Eat 2 to 3 hours before bed, not right before you go to bed. That's going to be hard for many. Is you don't realize, like, oh yeah, I eat at 8, I'm going to bed at 9, or eat at 9, I'm going to bed at 10. So start to space out from the time you eat your last meal to the time you go to sleep. Drink something warm and something that's caffeine free. Be cautious of what you watch before bedtime and try not to watch TV, phone, texting 30 minutes to an hour before bed. I know that last one is a trying one for many people. Foods and beverages that assist with increasing melatonin. Remember, I talked about melatonin? Yeah. So, melatonin is a sleep inducing hormone that our bodies produce in the pineal gland in our brains. As we get older, our bodies produce less melatonin. or if we have certain medical conditions as well. So melatonin helps to regulate our sleep cycle. So if we're producing less of it, it's harder for our bodies to go to sleep. As we get older or have health conditions, we should increase our melatonin. So how do we do that? Right? So there are foods that are rich in melatonin. There are tart cherries, bananas, pistachios, goji berries, fatty fishes like salmon. There's certain rice, and oats, mushrooms, and corn that are rich in melatonin. You hear me? So it will help. And there's also a recipe for a sleepy time smoothie. For those who come to my class, they get this on PDF, and then there's a clickable link. But I think it's like with cherry juice, magnesium, and there's something else in there. Again, I am not a practitioner, okay? And yeah, tart cherries are packed with melatonin, magnesium powder, and sugar-free sparkling water. Make sure it does not contain aspartame. I wish aspartame was outlawed in the United States. And blend and drink. Avoid spicy food, sugary, and caffeinated food before bed, like pizza. Gives you heartburn. Certain chocolates have caffeine in them. Citrus fruits. Eat these during the morning or day. And tomatoes, for example. And this comes from the sleepdoctor.com. It talks all about melatonin. So, as we wrap up, in addition, it's okay to seek additional help, as I talked about this earlier. Group counseling, individual counseling, health and wellness coaching, someone to work with to help you strategize your bedtime routine, evaluate things in your life, things that you want to change and things that you can change, and things that's like, okay, I want to change this, I gotta let this go. This is not serving me. Individual or group sessions also are impactful with health and wellness coaching. So figure out what works for you. Same with therapy, if it's individual or group. Medically, talk to an ENT doctor. You're like, yeah, I think I snore. My throat's always sore. This is always this. My sinuses are always inflamed. Talk to a professional. Get a sleep study done. Talk to your cardiologist. Make a medical appointment if you're having problems sleeping. Talk to your primary care doctor. If you don't have one, please find one that wants to be on your side and help you. We need people on our side that's going to help us, okay? Because we deserve good sleep. So, from this, what are one or two sleep strategies, remedies that you can start doing in the near future and further out? So this is just something to think about. Here are some affirmations to help you. I am worthy to feel well rested. I deserve quality sleep. I am deserving of less stress. My body deserves to heal through rest. I am worthy to reclaim my time. I am worthy to reclaim my time. I am worthy to reclaim my time. Remember to make your sleep health a priority. You are deserving. So we will end with those affirmations. Here are some resources for you. I told you I really go to research to do all of my workshops and create all of my workshops. Um, So here's resources and here's more resources. Again, if you came to my workshop, you get the clickable links. Oh, we can click on where she got her research from. Research is powerful. Again, I feel, we all need to not just, there's too many people out there just talking off their dome, talking off, just like, oh, I think this is good or this works for me. But what works for you may not work for everybody else. We want to make sure that what we're talking about is research based and that it can really help other people. So I'm hoping that this workshop and class really helped everybody who's watching this. So my next class, for those who are watching this, and it's before August 13th, 2026. Is August 13th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, those who are who are members of the DC Arts and Humanities Education Collaborative, get the Zoom link. For those who are watching after this and they're like, "Hey, I watched this class. It's on replay. I got a lot out of it." Drop a comment. Let me know what you walked away with. Let me know what you want to try out and what you want to explore with really developing a better sleep hygiene or just developing better sleep health altogether. I am not a photographer, but I love using imagery, as you could tell. So I went to pexels.com, pexels.com, and these are the names of all of the phenomenal photographers. They are amazing. Look them up. I really believe in the power of imagery with my classes, with workshops, and everything. So thank you to those photographers. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for joining me. I forgot the slide. You can check out my website, Divine Wryte, DIVINEWRYTE.com, or that's my health and wellness coaching practice website and also for my workplace wellness programming. And then my other website, serenawills.com, SERENAWILLS.com, is my author, writer, and poetry website. Okay? So many blessings to all of you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for watching this replay. I hope this is going to help out so many. Drop in the comments. Let me know how you're feeling and how you're doing. And take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.